Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Spymaster from the Crimson Dynamo wave. Here we have Spymaster displayed in the front window with his accessory and Build-A-Figure piece, and then we see at the bottom Marvel's Spymaster. On the side we do have some artwork there of Spymaster just kind of looking off to the side, and that is going to be the same artwork on both sides. On the back we do have that artwork expanded upon, and we can see it almost looks like he has his back up against a wall. And then we do have a quick read-up. An undercover operative skilled in sabotage, Spymaster possesses superb fighting capabilities. And then we do have all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Crimson Dynamo Build-A-Figure. And at the very bottom we do have the UPC code, so you can check with your local retailer to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that, let's get this open and take a look at Spymaster. And here is Spymaster outside of his packaging, and I tell you what, Hasbro did some deep digging for this guy. I will be the first to admit I know very little about Spymaster. In fact, I would say that I don't even think I've ever heard of the character before. He primarily appeared in the early and late 70s in Iron Man comics, then he had some additional appearances in the 80s as well, but he primarily spent his time as a Iron Man villain. His specialty being corporate espionage, it fit right in with him sneaking into Stark Industries, stealing plans, things like that. In fact, his involvement directly led to the events of the first Armor Wars. So he is a pretty pivotal character in the Iron Man mythos, so that's actually kind of cool that we are getting some more villains for a specific character, in this case Iron Man. Now, on the downside, though, he is very limited in terms of his accessories. The only one we get with him is going to be this red pistol, which certainly has a very sci-fi feel to it. I honestly didn't do a lot of research to see whether or not this is an iconic pistol for him or not, but it's not bad, I guess. It looks like it would fit this character, and then it does fit into a holster that he does have right on his side. Now, in standing straight up, Spymaster is coming in at 6 1/4 inches tall, which makes him 15.9 centimeters. Being that Bucky cap mold, that's pretty average. So, since he doesn't come with any other accessories other than his Build-A-Figure piece, which we'll look at a later date, let's go ahead and just jump in real quick and take a look at the paint here on Spymaster. And here we are up close with Spymaster, and you notice I said we're going to look at the paint because the sculpt is another classic Bucky cap. So we'll cover that here in a moment. But looking first here at the head, the one really unique thing that we can see there is some sculpt work in the head where he has these little half circles, and it looks like the paint, though, is supposed to have this lighter shade of blue, and they really missed the mark on mine. That is completely lopsided and just looks really bad. Yeah, that is awful. The sculpt work is fine. I mean, it's a masked head, so there's not a whole lot going on with it. You can see the shape of the ear. It almost looks like it could be like a Deadpool head, minus the sculpt work there in the front. But it looks really good. I don't mind it. It serves its purpose. Now, looking at the rest of the body, so the paint is going to be the biggest feature here on this thing. We get not bad. You get the little pockets there on some of the deeper parts of the sculpt that didn't take the paint, but otherwise it's not terrible. Pretty simple logo there too for him. Line work, actually not too shabby. You get, of course, the little faded parts of the lines there throughout, but it came out looking okay. Not bad. His belt is going to be all yellow with the exception, of course, of that giant S. Maybe that stands for stealth because he's a spy. Obviously, I'm sure it's meant for Spymaster. Nothing says secret agent like putting your first initial on your belt in big, giant letters. But it does look like we have a little bit of paint missing in the corners there. And it still would have been kind of nice if some of these had some detail to them. I mean, I don't know what those are. Some sort of canisters, lots of pouches, and then obviously his buckle there. Looking at the hands, I am disappointed we just get your standard gripping hands and trigger hands that we see so often with Bucky caps. I'd like to see some fists, just because without any fists, you're just limited to the gun, and I don't like that. And then down here, we don't get any paint because this is going to be the separate pieces, so the lines there look fine. And then, like I said, it is your standard Bucky cap, which, I mean, they're getting their use out of it. Now, looking at the articulation real quick, We've seen it plenty of times, up, down, good range. He does have shoulders about 90 degrees, full rotation, bicep, double jointed elbows. We do have a hinge at each of the wrists. Another thing, I always say it, but anyone that we're going to have that primarily is going to be holding a weapon, I wish we would get that ulnar and radial movement as opposed to that extension and flexion movement that we get with these guys. The ab crunch, like you can see right into the figure, that gap is horrible. And same thing on the back. He's got tremendous range, but I mean, look at that. You can literally see to the inner workings on how deep that is. That is insane looking. Waist cut, legs can go about that far, kick forward pretty good, backwards not much at all. Double jointed knee and a thigh cut there. Sorry, I'm going so fast. Boot cut, and then he does have a hinge and ankle pivot. And that is going to do it for this review, everyone. And I know, not my most in-depth look, but let's face it, really the only thing to look at on this guy was the paint. This is going to be the peg warmer of the wave. We know that. I would be amazed if anybody in this comment section is going to say how excited they were for that hard-to-find Spymaster figure that they've been waiting so long to see. And I think that really is going to sum up this figure. He's going to be the peg warmer. He kind of already is. I haven't really seen much of the Black Widow wave out in stores, but it seems like whenever I find it, I do find him. And even still, this is going to be something that unless you're the most diehard Iron Man collector or just a completionist Marvel Legends collector like myself, you're probably going to pass on this figure. Let's just be real. So no reason to spend a ton of time on this review. Still want to make sure we get it up, though, of course. We always want to see the figures, but I'm not overly impressed with it. It's a Bucky Cap mold. The paintwork is acceptable, and the character content, I'm not going to say that it's not worth a figure, because I do always love getting fleshed out rogues galleries and things like that. But of course, like I said, it's just not a figure that I was clamoring for. Oh, all right, we'll leave it at that. That is going to be it for the review, everyone. So if you like it, hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching my videos, and have a great day.